All right, good morning. How's everybody doing? Made it to the end. This is my diehards. Thank you for being here. The final session of the HR Technology Conference. Big shout out to my friends way down there. I like that group way in the side. Make some eye contact with you. How are you? Good group. I'm really excited about this session, the Ideas and Innovators session. Can I have the next slide, please? The Ideas and Innovators session is a concept that we didn't invent it. We started doing it at our Health and Benefits Leadership Conference a couple of times, where thought leaders, industry experts, just really smart people provide their insights and expertise or crazy, wild, innovative, challenging ideas on all things HR, technology, work, the workplace, leadership, and more. And maybe some other things even we're not expecting to hear at HR Technology Conference, but it'll just make you think. We've got a great lineup of speakers today who've waited patiently while we've worked through some stressful rehearsal time in the last hour or so. And just a couple of notes on what you'll see and how it works. We're using the Ignite format. It's a well-known speaking format. Anybody seen Ignite talks before in that format? Just the people who worked on these decks, it looks like. Well, good. So you're in for a treat. The Ignite format is a fast-paced, rapid-moving, rapidly changing format, but it's a very strict format. Each presenter has 20 slides. The slides will auto-advance every 15 seconds, resulting in a total talk time of 5 minutes. So each speaker's only talking for 5 minutes. I've done Ignite a couple of times myself. I will say this, from an audience perspective, it's great because it's fast-moving, it's changing. If one topic doesn't quite grab you, and 5 minutes later there'll be a different speaker and a different topic, which is cool. It's awesome. From a speaker's perspective, it's quite possibly the longest 5 minutes of your life. So many thanks to my speakers for doing this. It's a bit of a risk as a speaker. It's a bit of a challenge. And I think the nature of it being a challenge is why this group of people stepped up and were willing to do it this year. So many thanks to them. One other quick technical note, and I'm saying this on behalf of the speakers. We learned a lesson today about consolidating multiple PowerPoint decks and Keynote decks into one old laptop that didn't have a lot of custom fonts on it or wasn't quite prepared for all the really cool and elaborate things many of our speakers did. We did our best in the last hour to try to fix everything. You may see a slide or two that doesn't look perfect. The reason it doesn't look perfect is not your speaker's fault. I was going to say it's my fault, but I really don't want to take the blame for it. But all right, we'll say it's my fault and possibly Ed Chase's fault. One of our faults. All right, I think that's it for this. Let's switch the display to my deck up here if we could. All right, so I'm going to bring up the speakers one at a time. When they give me the high sign, I will kick it to their first slide, and then the countdown clock will begin. If the countdown clock somehow doesn't work, and we unfortunately didn't have a time to test every slide, I have the clicker speakers, and if I need to, I will click. All right, here we go. I am super excited for this guy right now. One of my oldest friends in this space. So great to have him here. He's going to rock it. Please welcome Eric Winegardner, SVP Client Adoption from Monster.
Hello. So for the record, guys, this is a lot harder than it looks. It's a lot harder than it looks, and I may have done it wrong. But I've told Steve before, I was like, I don't care if I go first. I don't care if I go last. I just don't want to follow Jason Lauritsen. And you can see, old friend. All right. You did screw that up. He said luck of the draw. All right. We're all in this together, so I'm going to go down here. Are we good? All right. Let's go. So my position on this is I believe that despite the fact that we talk about it every single day of our lives, this Venn diagram proves the point that very rarely do we have the intersection. What are you doing to me? Sweet Mary, Mother of Holy what? Oh yeah, just, it's killed my mojo. Now we'll blame that guy right there. All right, here we go. My position, take two. There's that train wreck that we were talking about. Let's go. Despite the fact that we talk about it every day of our lives, the intersection not covered in this Venn diagram of people, process, and technology actually doesn't happen in our world. Many times, those of us in the room, we've got process and technology overlap all done, but we don't include the most important part of people. This is what I believe, and the guy from Monster who spends my life living for people and their dreams. I will tell you right now, the biggest opportunity and the most innovation we have is to put people right back into to that Venn diagram. Behind every single person in this room, there is a CEO, and that CEO was taught in CEO school to say, our people are our number one asset. Right? They all say it. The first time I hear it, I say, awesome. Take me to your HR and your talent function because I want to see how you invest in it. The other side of asset is liability. And unfortunately today, I believe that more and more of us in this room and the people that are behind us, we feel as if we're a liability. We feel as if a majority of the company's profits are going into us and we're not feeling as if we're an actual assets that's being invested in. We use keywords and terms and movements in our space to justify this, to see why it's harder. There's the gig economy, millennials, boomers, we have STEM issues, we have skill shortages. This is how we justify why it's harder, instead of saying we forgot about people in our focus for making sure we have the right tools. The right tools today are fundamentally important to being able to find the right people. 2015 is harder than ever to find the right people. What gives me hope, what gives me innovation, thoughts for innovation, is the candidate experience movement. The thought that we're putting a person in the front, analyzing our process and our technology behind it, is very, very encouraging to me. It is not a buzz phrase, it is a movement. And the fine folks at Talent Board have spent the last 5 years convening vendors and convening organizations to actually say, what if we did this together? What if we were different? And what if we had a good housekeeping seal of approval? The reason they do that, though, is not because it's harder to recruit. It's because we finally figured out that candidates are customers. And if people have shitty experiences with us, they're not going to buy our products. Geez, putting candidates at the center, treating them like people. 133,000 people in these surveys that will be released this year, 75% tell us they're doing their research before they apply to a job. 70% of those people spend an entire hour doing that, and 1/3 of them spend 3 hours or more researching. Those of us who are in the talent space, that should be encouraging. They are consuming their content. What shouldn't be encouraging is they say 74% of them say that the job ad is the #1 most useful piece of employment content. I have 3 million jobs on my site right now, and I will tell you, we don't treat it as if it's the most valuable resource. All other duties as assigned is not sexy, right? So when you look at what else they say in their top 5 rank, we have lost focus on the most important things, which is helping people understand what it is they're going to do for us. One of the most alarming pieces for me is that 73% of people who had a negative experience with us said they were unlikely to ever apply again at our company. I know our whole systems require you apply to every job you're ever interested in. The same number said, I'm not going to refer anyone. And I was like, are you kidding me? I'm not going to refer anyone? We've convinced ourselves referrals are our #1 resource and our #1 hire. How do we get back to that? The way we get back to that is focusing more on people. When we think about their feedback, what they're saying to us, how they share those experiences, 133,000 people surveyed, 48% said they're likely to share a positive experience. Economies tell us that the people will share negative experiences more, not this data, 32% lower. When you look at it and ask the same question, say, well, within your inner circle, how will you share that information? People say 80% I'll share a positive experience, but 66% lower. This is flipped for us, those of us who study consumer behaviors. We know we're told you have to share all your negative experiences, not your good. So when your people are sharing their negative experiences today, know that there's far more who are having them than are sharing them. It's a different piece. In order for us to have a pulse today on what it takes for us to perform well, we have to understand that it is about people. We have to get back to the overlap of people, process, and technology in order to change the landscape of our organizations. Why? It's because people matter and work matters. As white-collar professionals, we work more than we do anything else. It must matter, and I must be at the center of it. I leave you with a great quote from Steve Jobs. None of us have to question his contributions nor his success.
Eric, thank you so much. Killer. All right, loved it, buddy. I like the standing down here move too, among the people. I like that. All right, I'll be down here too then. Let's see. Couple quick things for me. First off, thank you to our 9 speakers. I feel like now we're in the club. We have 9 new best friends. HR Tech Ignite veterans, Ideas and Innovators veterans. Huge round of applause for our speakers again today. I had thought wrapping up the conference, I would have said going in that the hackathon, the HR Tech hackathon we did yesterday, that was my favorite session of the conference. Now it's my second favorite. This was my highlight of the conference for me personally. So thank you so much. I just want to say a couple quick things. First of all, thank you to all our attendees for being here. Now, obviously, this conference is for you. We hope you had a great experience. We hope, of course, to see all of you back next year in Chicago for a change, and I think that's going to be exciting and fun. So hope to see many of you again next year in Chicago. Second, I want to thank conference co-chair Dave Shadovitz. I want to thank the team that puts on this show and executes the show, Ed Chase, Vicki Dennehy, Craig Lutman, and the whole team. I can't name them all. They do a great job for you, for our attendees, for our exhibitors, and for our speakers. So many thanks to the team at LRP for another great job. I had a great experience here again this year. I hope you did too. Please let us know what you think. Please fill out your feedback forms. We want to get better. We want to make this conference relevant for you and help you and your organization succeed. So with that, I say thank you, and I'm officially closing the 18th HR Technology Conference. We will see you next year in Chicago. Thank you.